Hello everyone, Ollie here from Deeds Talk Cinema, and I'm here with Nerdtube.
Hello, people of the internet.
And today we are here to watch, believe it or not, we are here to watch Disney's Snow White. So, yeah, I'd agree to go first before thoughts. So, Snow White. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the original film. I was contemplating whether or not if I was going to watch it in preparation for this, but I thought, I think it'd be best to base it on its own terms, this film, because I don't want the original, because I think this is what most people are going into, like, oh, this is going to ruin the original. Well, I'm going to try and, I've made the decision to not to do that, because I'd rather base this film as much as possible on its own terms. So, yeah, that's what I did. So, hopefully I'm going to watch the original, maybe once I've watched this. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. Reviews say otherwise, but actually I've heard mixed. I've seen like a couple of people from the UK, not America, so yeah, one guy said for the most part he liked it. Some parts he said he didn't like, but it's all based on our own terms, our own opinions, because at the end of the day, we are all entitled to our own opinions. So yeah, I really hope it's good. That's what I'm hoping for. So the reason why we're obviously smiling, for people that have been living under a rock, this film, before it's even come out, a lot of controversies came out, mostly with Rachel Zegler, who's playing Snow White in this, and also some other people as well who've been in, like Peter Dinklage, who's in Game of Thrones. He plays one of the dwarf characters, I think, in there. Do you know Peter Dinklage?
I've heard about his presence, yes.
Yeah, so he made a statement. I think that was one of the first controversial bits of the film that came out, is that he was on a podcast and he basically kind of outspoken Disney and was just like, this is not cool, whatever, in simple terms. So yeah, Rachel Zegler, other than what she said about the film and how, you know, how it's going to be interpreted, I actually don't mind her as a person. Like, some people can see her as quite entitled and obnoxious, and I kind of get that, but, you know, I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. But I've been hearing some people say she's great, but obviously due to, she's kind of dug a hole for herself, I think, and it's a shame because, like I said, I think she's an okay person outside of what she said about the film, but, you know, we'll see what it's like in the end. So, I don't have much else to say. Again, haven't seen the original. I will eventually, hopefully after I watch this film. Yeah, don't think there's anything else, but I'm going to pass on to Nerdtube and then we're going to head in. So, yeah, Nerdtube to go.
Alright, now, as for my thoughts about this film, I am feeling very controversial about it, and the reason I wanted to watch this film today is because I just feel like watching a bad film. Now, I'm not stating that this film's going to be bad yet. I just thought that because I haven't watched a film in a duo video in a while, I just thought, you know what? Fuck it, I'm bringing you along. I'll bring you along so I don't have to torture myself alone. You're welcome, buddy. Now, regarding this film, the interviews are just so controversial. Rachel Zegler's comments on the film, how the story was going to go, that she wasn't getting saved by the prince, that struck a lot of controversy amongst the people that have seen the interview.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
she's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
And the casting, I have a bit of mixed feelings, because I can understand people's views that in the books, the book describes Snow White's skin as snow as white. I get that. And Look, look, I don't care about casting, but sometimes I do. Because when you race swap characters, it does get on my nerves sometimes. But if an actor does a great performance, then you convinced me. Now, regarding this movie's production, when I first saw the photo of their production, they weren't going to do the dwarves. Instead, they were going to do 7 medical creatures. Because apparently, yeah, like you stated, Peter Dinklage's comment on the dwarves, that it was just not a very good display of what real dwarfs acted like. And now to quote and to note, I have yeah, I have seen the original film. So I do know how the story works. I've not read the original book, so I don't have the right to say much about the book, but I do understand your comments and theirs that they don't want to make Snow White a completely innocent person and that they want her to be a character. Yeah, that's fine. I am on board with that. But I would like them to try and stick to the original romance that the original animated film did. Because you can have romance and have a character at the same time, if done right. So that's why the Renaissance genre, like Beauty and the Beast, works. Because the characters spend actual time together. Because if they do, they develop chemistry between them. Beauty and the Beast is a great animated film, by the way. I highly recommend that. Yeah, anyway, I am feeling a bit nervous. I am hoping that they do put on good performances. I have no hopes for Gal Gadot, to be honest.
So I forgot to mention Gal Gadot, but I don't know. I can't say too much until I see her in the film, but from what I've heard, she's not brilliant. But that's not... Arguably, she's not very good in anything else other than Wonder Woman, but we'll see for ourselves when we watch the film, so yeah.
Yeah, now, from what I've seen from most of her performances in other films, or clips, her acting does look a bit wooden and a bit dull.
Yeah.
So I don't really care about her as an actress. As a model, yeah, she passes. Anyway, I am hoping this can be at least decent. I will probably tear the living shit out of this film afterwards, because from what I've seen on the trailers, the dwarves look so uncanny. I'm gonna finish here. Hopefully we will think this is okay, and I will see you all on the other side.
Roll the preview.
The most talked about movie of the year.
Me? No.
Has arrived.
I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
I was thinking the same thing.
Disney's Snow White. Now playing. Get tickets now.
Perfection.
That was fucking horrendous. I am out.
Right. Like I said at the beginning, I'm gonna... Sorry, it's no tube space. I tried to go in with an open mind, despite the controversy and all the reactions that have come out. I mean, they're a mix, the ones I saw. I'm not gonna say everything was horrendous. I'll start with the good. I thought, to be fair, Rachel Zegler, her singing especially, I thought was actually pretty decent. I mean, there were better songs than most, but I thought for the most part she was decent. I mean, she wasn't actually horrendous as all of us were thinking, but Tohu was quite bad. Was the prince? Well, I thought so anyway. He wasn't great. There was a certain moment where basically Snow White basically dies for a minute, and then when the prince, or whatever he's called, John, yeah, she, he leant down. He leant down and he said, "I'm sorry."
He sounded like he was going to get told off by his mum for stealing a packet of biscuits from the cupboard. I'm sorry, Mum.
And at that moment, me and Nerdtube just barely laughed, especially Nerdtube, for a lot longer than needed. But yeah, eventually, because we did it so much, especially Nerdtube, there was a family, and I think a mother just said, "Shut up," or whatever, and we were just like, part of me was just like, shit, okay, we got to stop now. But I could see the corner of my eye that Nerdtube was still laughing. I was just like, no, you have to bite your tongue to stop laughing. Yeah, so anyway, back to a few good things. Again, Rachel Zegler's singing was decent for what it was. Her acting was okay as well. Gal Gadot was the evil queen. Yeah, she wasn't great. The dwarfs, the magical creatures. After a while, they were alright, but to begin with, their singing was a bit weird to start off, but they were alright in the end. Funny thing is, speaking of a dwarf, one of the, in the picture that was leaked, no, not Dopey, but one of the pictures that was leaked where we thought they were the dwarfs, the real people that were with Snow White in that photo, they're actually in the film. And actually one of those bandits, that's what they're called, the bandits, one of them actually has dwarfism. And I'm like, I pointed that out to Nerdtube and he was just like, what? And I was like, I was just like, why? So you allow to have a person who has dwarfism, or, with all respect, I'm not trying to disrespect, but I'm just saying, if Disney allows that,
why in the fuck did they allow him to be in the fucking film?
Yeah, it's like, I don't get it, personally. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, it wasn't the worst one I've ever seen, but far from the best. I don't really know what else to say. Like, I don't know, again, Rachel Zegler was alright. I mean, she was better at singing than she was acting, but overall, she was actually better than I thought. So, yeah, I just, I don't know, I feel like there's more to say, but
You just don't have much to say.
Well, yeah, well, I'd like to think, this is the thing with coming out of the cinema, it's like you need to think on a lot of things, but I mean, you have like a few things, you're like, oh yeah, I can say that, but in terms of in-depth thoughts, it's kind of hard for me to do. So yeah, I mean, the bad, I'd say Gal Gadot is the evil queen, the prince, if you want to call him that, the dwarfs, magical creatures, whatever, they're alright. I don't know, story, I mean, I have to pass it on to Nerdtube because he knows more about the story than I do, so he can let me know if anything is accurate to either the original. So yeah, I'm going to give this I don't know, actually, 4. I'll go 4 out of 10. I mean, do I recommend it? I mean, alright, if you have a family, if you're in a family and you have children, they're like Disney princesses, give it a go, I'd say, but for anyone who is like us that just went for the hell of it, I would either pass or wait till it comes out on Disney Plus, maybe. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, annoyingly, but yeah, I'm desperate to see what Nerdtube thinks, but yeah, yeah, 4 out of 10, just 2 stars basically out of 5. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on to Nerdtube.
This film was fucking horrendous. Alright, now, let me just get the good bits out of the way. Rachel Zegler, yeah, I agree with you. She did have a very good voice in this, and she had a couple good songs. Like, this film just has a couple good songs in my opinion in general, but like 2 of them are from the original film. Like, the rest of the songs, they're absolutely abysmal to listen to, because I can't understand the lyrics. Half of them I feel like laughing to. Rachel Zegler, look, she's an actress that's good, but also a bit bad. So she's not good, but also not bad. So sort of in between for me in terms of acting. There's a few good bits, but it's very hard for me to label a few good bits, to be honest. The prince is just an annoying twat. I'm not joking. He's trying to sound sarcastic, where all he does is just look like a mean-spirited prick. And the dwarves just look so uncanny. The CGI just looks a bit off here and there. To be honest, another good point are the animals. They look a lot more uncanny than the dwarves. The dwarves look fucking terrifying. They look like fucking Big Face. And there was another point in the film which I can agree with you. There's like a real dwarf in this film. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't like Gal Gadot in this film. To be honest, I don't think I like her as an actress at all. Like I stated earlier, I just prefer her as a role model. This film, the script in this film is fucking horrendous. The story is bad. They disrespect the original film. They have a lot of potential with the concepts that they have in this film, but in the end, they just bollocks it all. It all just feels like laughable cringe that you would watch on your bad day. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with jokes here, but it's so hard when my brain's scrambled in what I just saw. Like, there was a moment in the film where, yeah, we mentioned earlier, like, well, Ollie brung up, is that the prince was just like, I'm sorry. And he just sounds like he's about to get told off for, like, sneaking into the cupboards to get some sweets. I was like, what the fuck? And me and Ollie were laughing, and I could not stop laughing myself, because since that part, I just kept on laughing. Up to the point where I even got told off by one of the adults in the back. That's how bad this film is for me to watch. And the ending, there is a few scenes where it's just, this happens, and then that's it. This happens, and then that's it. There's a few bits where things just happen for the sake of happening. Like, there's a section in the film where one of the dwarves, I think his name's Happy or something, and he's just like, hey, let's dance. I was like, wait, what? Why are you dancing? Why? Is this the time? Why are you dancing? I get you're happy, but why? Is this really necessary? I don't know. I think Disney's just in a horrendous state at the minute, because they seem to be relying on these remakes at the minute to try and back up financially. But the thing is, you can't just keep retelling the same story twice. And the fact that they were trying to make the protagonist, Snow White, a lot more independent. She wasn't bad. I'm not gonna say she was bad in this film. But that idea has been explored before. There was a Snow White and the Huntsman film. My personal opinion, I prefer that remake over this. I honestly do. I'm sorry. That's just me. Now, in terms of comparing this film to the original animated, this film's just bad. I didn't like this. But for me, this film's just a 3 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry. I don't want to be negative, but it's really hard to try and stay positive when we're watching a film that's just bad. I am so sorry I brought you along to this train wreck, Ollie. You deserve better. And Jesus Christ. And another thing to add before I go, Mark Webb directed this film. He directed Spider-Man 1 and 2. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, actually. Sorry. Yep, I'm not joking when I say that. He's gone from directing a Spider-Man movie to this. That's all I got. Thank you all for watching. Sayonara.